Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this SmartHQ service training. We are coming to you from Louisville, Kentucky at Appliance Park. We are in the diagnostics lab here at GE Appliance Park, and we are going to be demonstrating the SmartHQ service, formerly Newfie Mobile Diagnostic System. So as I said, we're in the lab. We've got lots of exciting equipment that we're going to use to exhibit the power of SmartHQ service to you for the next hour. Okay, so we're going to have some folks in my team introduce themselves. My name is Telema Harry. I am the director for the SmartHQ service initiative here at GE. And the rest of the team are going to introduce themselves.
Hi everybody, good afternoon. My name is Anita Sudalaikannu. I'm the Software Quality Assurance Engineer for SmartHQ Service. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Tim Usich, Customer Care Service Manager for the South Central Region. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. So between the three of us, we're going to go through and try to give you a really sort of good understanding of the capabilities of this tool. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what we're going to be covering. So I'm going to do a very quick presentation where I'm just going to give an overview of the system. I know this might be old hat to many of you, but I know there are also some people watching that may know almost nothing about the system and are just making a decision as to, or trying to learn to make a decision as to whether they want to opt in or not. But I'll try to move fairly quickly so that those of you who have more experience will also get a lot out of this discussion. But it's going to be a presentation. It's going to be mostly demo, so probably 80% demo. We're going to try to focus on the newer issues as we demo, and the newer features, I should say, as we demo. And then we'll give you an overview of a new feature, a significant new feature that we have just recently launched about a week ago. And this is the Parts Finder application that allows you to order parts through the SmartHQ service system. So not only can you troubleshoot, analyze performance issue on GE appliances, access documents, access the service website, interact with the appliance, communicate with the appliance, but you can also buy parts through this system. So our goal is to make this thing satisfy all your needs in terms of your interaction with GE appliances from a service standpoint. So let me go to the presentation. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is that SmartHQ service is Newfie Mobile, and so we're just rebranding. Newfie was kind of a difficult name for a lot of people, so SmartHQ service, I think, just is a better match for what we're doing. And what are we doing, right? So what we're doing is we're aggregating a very rich set of tools that have been developed over the years for the GE Factory Service Organization. So for GE Factory Service technicians, we're aggregating these tools and making them available to third-party independent service company technicians to use through this very easy-to-use mobile portal that runs on Android, iOS, phones, or tablets. So in some ways, we're kind of leveling the playing field between the factory service, GE factory service technicians, and all of you out there that service GE products. Okay, so independent service companies we consider you partners to GE in terms of servicing the GE consumer, and we want to make sure that you have everything you need to do the best job you can and deliver the best lifetime ownership experience to GE consumers. Okay, so these bullet points kind of just reiterate some of the things I've said. So sometimes we call this a universal mobile GE appliance service utility. So it's a Swiss Army knife of tools. All kinds of applications that will make you super efficient at troubleshooting, diagnosing performance issues on GE appliances. It is based on a PC application that the GE factory service technicians have been using for a very long time. So even though it is new to you, it is not new. GE factory service has been using this. It's been tested. It's robust. It's stable. It will deliver results for you. Okay. This solution, of course, was designed explicitly for independent servicers that service GE products. We have somewhere around 1,750 independent service technicians using this tool. The number continues to grow. We are certain that we have a very satisfied user base. Not saying that there are any problems, but we definitely get a lot of very positive feedback and essentially zero cancellations of the subscription. So that's if no one's canceling, it means we're delivering some value. Okay. So this is the system. At the center of the story here, you have this Bluetooth module that plugs into the RJ45 port on the appliance. This RJ45 bus port taps into the data bus of the appliance and allows the appliance to communicate wirelessly to a mobile app that runs on Android or iOS phones or tablets. So if you look at this system, this is a very, very powerful system. The app is able to download firmware binaries from the cloud and the latest firmware binaries, and allows you to do firmware updates on GE appliances as many times as you want. Okay. You can also, when you're doing diagnostics on the appliance, you extract diagnostic information like fault codes, alerts, cycle history, or data logger information, and that information is all saved in the cloud. And you can look up that data at a later point if you need to look up information on a previous service call that you executed. Anita will go into detail about how that functionality works. So just all in all, just a very, very powerful system, and gives you what you need to be an efficient technician working on GE appliances. Okay. So without much ado, we'll transition to the demo. We're going to start with this bottom freezer refrigerator that I have behind me. Okay. I am already connected to it. Okay, so I have a Bluetooth module here, if I can find it, with the flashing LEDs. Okay, and this Bluetooth module is connected to wirelessly to this iPad that you're seeing the screen of on this video feed that we're sending to you. Okay, and you'll see that the app has captured the model number and the serial number. That's at the top left-hand side of the screen. Okay. So when you plug in the Bluetooth module, you open the app. This is the first screen that you'll see, and at this point you're talking to the appliance. You're communicating with the appliance. So let me go through and just go one by one, walk through the features. Okay. I'll start with this product overview. This is something that we just added recently. It's a feature that allows you to look at a high level sort of overview of the product, so that you can communicate with the owner of the appliance about the high level consumer related features. Right. So it just gives you a way to demonstrate and to show the feature set that this appliance has. So I clicked on another link there. It's about this product, right? So this has videos. A lot of the time it will have text about, giving you tips about how to use the product effectively. And so, you can certainly use these to communicate and tell the homeowner about the features of the appliance that they have and how best to get good performance out of the appliance. So specs and details. This is just a lot of high-level information about the features of this product, and then user manuals and downloads. So use and care manuals and installation instructions, etc. Okay. All right. So let me keep going here. So further down the screen, you'll see alerts and you'll see fault codes. Alerts and fault codes are similar but different. Okay. So fault codes are the appliance itself doing self-diagnostics, and then when the app interacts with the appliance, it extracts those fault codes and it marries them up with information such as step-by-step instructions as to how to resolve that issue, information about when that issue occurred. So in this case, it happened 2 days ago. And then, is the fault code active? Some issues are intermittent. So this tells you if this fault is still triggering or if it's dormant and has kind of gone away. Okay. Alerts are different. Alerts are the app probing the appliance for certain conditions and certain states, and based on those states, determining that there's something that they need to warn the technician about. So it may be something like a manufacturing defect that we can detect electronically through the app by probing the appliance, or it may be something simple like a state that the appliance might be in that is a normal operational state but is confusing technicians. So, for example, it might be the appliance is in Sabbath mode, or the appliance might be in showroom mode. And sometimes these kinds of conditions are not always, it's just not always obvious that that's what's going on with the appliance. And this can confuse consumers, and it can confuse service technicians as well. Okay? So alerts, another thing about alerts is that they can be, we can develop alerts long after the product is shipped. So we identify an issue that's going on out in the field, and we develop an alert to warn the technician of that issue. Okay, I'm going to go down the screen. I'm now going to look at the document access elements of this app, right? So I just clicked on document search. It's doing a full model number search, and it found documents related to that model number. Okay. I can also get more creative, and I can do a partial model number and a keyword search. So GTW 680 pump, it's finding all the documents that relate to GTW 680 and pump. And when I say all the documents and media, all the content that relates to those two search parameters. So here I clicked on video, and it has found a video about the GTW recirculation pump removal. I'll click on that, and it's served to me right at my fingertips. It's hosted in YouTube, but it's actually a private video, so you can only access it through the system. You would not be able to access it just by going to YouTube. Let me back out of this. So as you see, as I go down the screen, there is other ways to access documents. So we give a lot of different ways to access documents because depending on the document, there just might be one way might be easier to find it than another, and some people just prefer using one system as opposed to another. So we try to give a lot of mechanisms by which you can access documents. So I just clicked on, in that recent bulletins section, I just clicked on one of the links there, and it pulls up the document. So at this point, there's 5 recent bulletins, and I can view any one of those. Okay? Can you scroll down the screen? Service manual, it's right there. Mini manual. So many of you know that there are technicians out there that collect mini manuals, and they will work on an appliance and they will take the mini manual with them. And the next technician that comes along, well, it's kind of out of luck, right? There's no mini manual. So that's not a problem if you have Newfie, right? If you have SmartHQ service. The mini manual is right there in digital form every time. The product origin. What's the goal of this? The goal of this is to tell you whether or not the appliance is in warranty, right? So we give you the manufacture date and we give you runtime. What is runtime? Runtime is how long this appliance has been plugged into the wall, right? So if you see 500 days, you can be certain that this appliance is not in warranty, okay? Ethernet compatibility test. This is you're standing in front of an appliance, and you want to know whether it has an Ethernet port. Okay. Sometimes you have to look around a little bit to find one. So it'd be really nice if you could just type in the model number, and it tells you whether or not it is compatible, whether it has an Ethernet port. Okay. You can also scan the model number with a QR code. We make a lot of use of the QR code scanner because it saves you typing, and I know most people don't like to type. I know I don't. So let me go to the next screen. So, so as I already alluded to, firmware updates. Now, this is maybe the most powerful capability in this system. So, many of you might in the past have had to order these some modules or software update modules, those little white boxes. So you go to a service call. I determine that it needs the appliance needs a software update. Let's see. So it determines that the appliance needs a firmware update. So you have to order this module from GE, and then you have to return to that home and apply the module and do the firmware update. Well, if you have SmartHQ service, you can diagnose the problem, whip out your Newfie or your Bluetooth module, plug it into the appliance, and do the firmware update right there and then. No return trip. This is a one visit complete. So that's money in the bank. I mean, that saves you time, saves you effort. It just makes sense. It's a win for everyone. Makes your customers happier. I think that's a valuable, definitely a valuable capability. So I'm going to move on. So cycle history. So cycle history is a data logger inside the appliance. So what this does is on a refrigerator, it captures 140 cycles of data. A cycle is one compressor off cycle is about an hour. Okay, so essentially this thing is capturing 6 days of data. Okay, and it's about 70 parameters are captured. So I'm going to go through and graph some of these parameters. Okay, so these are some of those parameters, right? So so essentially, you know how this appliance has been behaving in the case of a refrigerator for 6 days before you entered that home, right? So think of a scenario where the homeowner tells you that a few days ago they had a no cool condition, or the refrigerator wasn't cooling. It seems to have recovered, but they're concerned, and they don't know whether there's a problem with their refrigerator. Well, you can look at the data and you can say, well, it looks like Sunday morning you left your refrigerator or freezer door open for 2 hours. That's why the refrigerator wasn't cooling. And you know, you can show them the data. A lot of the time, the consumer themselves was not the one that left the door open. Maybe it was one of the kids in the house. It could, there's all kinds of reasons why the door might have been left open, but you can show them data. Okay, so operate loads. This is a feature that allows you to actually talk to the appliance, actually control the appliance, turn on components, control every single component within the appliance. So let me start with dispenser. Okay, so I think you know that in a refrigerator like this, there are 2 valves that need to be activated for water to be dispensed. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the isolation water valve, and I'm going to turn on the dispenser water valve, and you will see water dispense. Okay, this is pretty cool. So from your phone, you can control the appliance, every component in the appliance. Okay, so I'm going to back out of that. I'm going to show you something else that's visual, something that you can see. You can turn on the lights. Okay, I can turn off the lights. Okay, I'm going to go to the auger motor. I'm going to go back to the dispenser. Okay, I'm going to exercise the auger motor. Okay, so in the past, you might, to be able to do this, or to be able to test this component, you might have had to partially disassemble the appliance, apply power to that auger motor, and then reassemble the unit. Okay, now you can do all that with just the push of a button. Okay, so very, very, very powerful. Just a whole different way, whole new world of appliance service. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch to. I've shown you pretty much what I wanted to show you on this refrigerator. So I'm going to exit service mode, and then we're going to switch to this refrigerator prop. From a Newfie standpoint, this refrigerator prop is a fully functional refrigerator. But of course, you can see the components. So there are things that we can show you on this that we may not be able to show you on a real refrigerator, on a fully built refrigerator. So it's connecting. So the app is connecting to the prop or the refrigerator. It's establishing connection. Takes a couple of seconds to access the data, pull up the user interface. There we go. Okay. So pulled up the documents, behaving just like a regular refrigerator. So I hit next. I'm going to go to operate loads, and I'm going to enter service mode. Okay. And I'm going to go to, I want to show you this fan, the fans feature. Okay. So So this thing allows you to turn on all the fans, turn off all the fans, turn on each fan at high, medium, or low speed. Okay, so you think of a scenario where a consumer is complaining about a noise condition, and of course that noise is never happening when you're in the home, right? So the ability to put any of these fans into the state that it needs to be in to make that noise, this is very powerful. You can, go through the fans, put them at high, medium, or low speed, and have the consumer confirm that, yes, this is indeed the noise they're hearing, and you can focus on that component, you can fix the issue. So I'm going to just quickly show you that at a touch of a button, you're going to see the condenser fans start to move, okay? And you'll see the status go from 0 RPM to the speed that the fan is actually running at, 1641 revs per minute, okay? So that's what I want to show you. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to have Tim Music come up and use this prop and Newfie Mobile and SmartHQ service to demonstrate a real-world situation. So, how this tool can be used in the real world to solve real problems. Okay, so he's identified an issue that he's going to show you how to troubleshoot using this tool. Okay, I'm going to go back to the dashboard screen so that Tim can do his thing. Okay.
Thanks, Telema. So now that Telema demonstrated all the functionality and the power that this tool offers you, I kind of wanted to bring it home with a typical customer complaint and how would you diagnose this differently with this tool than without. So my customer complaint is freezer temperatures are getting warm. Her complaint is ice cubes are looking wet. It's not making ice as fast as it did, or it's not making any ice at all. The food's getting soft. And so the last thing you want to do on a refrigerator is open the doors to verify that. I know that's instinct, but with Newfie Mobile, you don't have to do that because once you're connected to the refrigerator, you now have access to what's happening inside the box. So based on what the customers told you, you can then on your screen swipe from right to left, and that brings up this screen. These are all the thermistors on this refrigerator, and there's a lot of them. But the one we're concerned about is the freezer thermistor because that's the customer complaint. And if you look at the second one down, that's freezer thermistor, it confirms. The freezer is at 36.8 degrees, which is obviously warm. Telema showed this in an earlier time. You can go into cycle history and you want to look at what is the freezer thermistor temperature, and you can graph it. And so you can absolutely see a couple days ago, the freezer temps were fine. We were in the 9 to 10 to 11 degree range, which is normal. It's high normal, but it's still normal for a freezer temperature. And then all of a sudden, for the past few days, we've been floating in the 36 degree temperature range. So that is confirming that we have a problem. Now, we could go into service diagnostics and turn every component on one at a time, but why do that? Because the refrigerator is operating. It's operating in a normal state, although the freezer is not cooling as it should. So let's see what's happening inside the box. Let's go into load status, and you can check the cooling system. And you can see the freezer or the compressor. I'm sorry, the compressor is on, and the three-way valve is in freezer only mode. This is a multi-evap, so it has a three-way valve. So it's telling you that the three-way valve is in the correct position and the compressor's on. So we're going to assume the sealed system or the cooling system is fine. Let's go and check other functionalities. Let's see the conditions of the fan. Also here we go. So if you look at the condenser fan, it's on super high. And if you look at the far right column, we're at about 1,767 RPMs. Condenser fan's on, but look at the freezer evaporator fan. It's supposed to be on low, but if you look at the far right column, we're at 0 RPM, so the fan motor is not running. And so you don't have to take the evaporator cover off and empty out the freezer. What you want to do now is how can I separate, is it the control board or is it the evaporator fan motor itself at fault? And like demonstrated earlier, because we are connected and Newfie knows what model serial number we're working on, it goes up to the service website, extracts all the technical information, and it's at your fingertips. So we're interested in the mini manual, and you can really quick with a touch of a finger get to the mini manual, and you can see how you access the freezer evaporator fan motor diagnostic. So you're going to pull the refrigerator out, get to the main electronic control board, go to the J8 plug, check the voltages. And how do you do that? It's also right on the tech sheet. There's a nice pictorial that shows you how to check voltage of the fan motor. So for this example, let's say the voltage is correct outputting the control. So now we've isolated. We've isolated the control board that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So the fan motor is still not on, so we need to order an evaporator fan motor. So you have direct access to one parts, and because you're connected to the electronic control, it knows what model serial number you're working on, and it pulls up one parts. For the PFE28, you click on the freezer parts, and you want item number 411, and at the bottom of the screen, it tells you the part number for that evaporator fan motor. One more thing, I want to see if so we did have an F code. So yeah, so freezer evaporator feedback missing. So that was another clue that Newfie would have told us there's something wrong with the evaporator fan motor circuit. Still doesn't say the fan motor is bad, because an evaporator feedback missing could also be the control board as well. So I hope that helps kind of put everything together and kind of how your thought process would be on normal customer complaints using the Newfie mobile diagnostic tool. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. Okay, so we have the benefit of in the lab. We're all propped out. So we're gonna move to another prop. Okay, and this is a GTW 460 washer. And I'm just going to show you some more examples of how you can command and control the appliance with the system. So it's connecting again. Now, one thing you'll see when it opens up is that the UI, the user interface, is very consistent from one appliance to another. We did that deliberately just to keep things simple, right? So the layout is going to be the same. You're going to have fault codes. You're going to have alerts, all that in the same location. Obviously, you see there are a lot of fault codes here, but I think that's because it was disassembled and reassembled and put onto a wooden frame, so that would generally cause some faults, I think. So I'm going to go to operate loads, and I'm going to enter service mode. And what I'm going to show you is how I can command the mode shifter to transition state, right? So this is something visual, at least something you can see very easily on this prop that we have, right? So you'll see that the cam is in raised position, and I'm going to press mode shifter to spin, and you'll see the cam lower and engage with the pulley system. And the app will say transition to spin, and it will eventually say it's in the spin state. Okay, good. So now I'm going to back out, and I'm going to go into diagnostic tests. And diagnostic tests allow you to kind of hone in on a specific function that you want to test, right? So you don't want to go through a whole wash cycle. You just want to see the spin cycle. You don't want to go through a whole wash cycle. You just want to see the agitate, right? So I'm going to do a spin cycle. Okay. You can see that the basket speed is on 0. Target speed is on 0. I'm going to start the spin cycle. You'll see the graph start to react. So in the graph, you're going to see a target speed ramp up, and you're going to see the actual speed chasing the target speed. Now, it's going to take a little while for this to settle down because this is it's not a real machine, so there's no load. There's no water, there's no clothes. So it takes a little while for this control system to kind of understand the situation and adjust. And in a minute here, you're going to see the target speed ramp up pretty dramatically. There you go, 450. And now you're going to see the actual speed chasing that target speed. Now, a lot of technicians use these kinds of images as a way to show the consumer a before and after image. So this is what it was looking like before. The graph was not what it should have been. I've made some modifications. I made some adjustments. I fixed your appliance. Now this is what it's looking like, right? So, this makes you look really smart in front of the consumer. And, sometimes that's half the battle, right? So, it's a great way to communicate with consumers, give them confidence that you know what you're doing and that you're going to be able to solve the problem, okay? So, we've been focused on capabilities that, let me stop the spin here. We've been focused on capabilities that are related to the Bluetooth module being connected to the app and communicating with the appliance. But there's many situations and there's many features that don't require a Bluetooth module and don't require you to actually communicate with the appliance. In fact, probably more than 50% of the features do not require any kind of communication with the appliance. Okay, so for example, if you want to look at documents, if you want to order parts. So I think I mentioned at the beginning we've implemented this functionality that will allow you to order parts. If you want to look at data that was generated on a previous service call, and you want to review that data that's in the cloud, you don't have to be in front of an appliance. You can be sitting on your couch, you can be in a truck, you can be, in the office, wherever, right? You can look at that data. So, we want to show you that now. So, Anita's going to unplug the Bluetooth module. Okay, and in a minute here, you are going to see a pop-up that's going to say that the system has detected that the Bluetooth module has been unplugged. And it will give you the opportunity to start a no Bluetooth mode session, okay? So it always takes a little longer when I'm demoing. Sometimes we wonder whether it's ever going to show up, but there you go, there it is. I click on New Session, okay, and it gives me the opportunity to go to no Bluetooth mode, but it's going to also pop up. So right now it's actually searching for the Bluetooth module, and it says no Bluetooth module found, and I say okay, and it transitions to no Bluetooth mode. So now Anita is going to go through a whole bunch of features that you can utilize without being connected to the Bluetooth module.
Thank you, Telema. So now we are going to see how SmartHQ service application can be used without the Bluetooth module. So as you can see on the right hand side, in the model input screen, there are three ways in which you can enter the model number. By default, the model number that is getting displayed is the appliance that you have already been connected to. In this case, it's a washer. So if you remember the model number, you can delete the model and serial number, you can enter the model number, and you can click on the next button. The another way is like you have something called as a recent session. Tap on the recent session and it will pull up the records of the appliances that you have previously worked on. The another one which we have is something called as scanning the QR code. So if you have the QR code label, then you can scan it. So right now, like what I'm going to do is I'm going to scan a QR code label that belongs to a washer. Click on the scan button, and if you see in just a minute, it will, yeah, there you go. So it picks up the model and serial number and it displays the dashboard screen. See, this dashboard screen is same as what you have seen, like when Telema was explaining about the connected session. So the only difference is here we don't have alerts or false, which is expected. So now click on the next button, and this is your simplified menu structure. So again, here we don't have firmware update or Bluetooth diagnostics. That's because we are not connected to the Bluetooth module. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through some of the features. So the first one is photo upload. So what is this photo upload? So like it's always better like doing a service call. So it's always better to get to capture the picture of any problem, so that in the future it will be helpful for you to troubleshoot. So what you do is click on the photo upload icon, acknowledge it, click on the camera icon, capture the image and use the photo. And if you want to provide any comment, that's very well. Provide the comment and click on the upload button that is present on the right hand corner. So what it does is, so like for using SmartHQ service, all the sessions you create, so the moment you close and reopen the app, all the data gets streamed. What are the data that get streamed? Your fault codes, your cycle history, your alerts, and if there is any photograph, that also gets streamed, so that you can view those things at a later point if required. So let me go back. So the next feature which we are going to talk about is the one which Telema has already mentioned. It's the diagnostic history. So what is this diagnostic history? It's an application that allows you to view the historical information of an appliance that you have worked on previously. So how it is important? Say for example, you had a service call a few weeks back, and again if you are getting a service call on the same appliance, so you might want to go and check when I went a few weeks back, what happened, what was the data, how the cycle history was there any fault code, is there any chance like I would have missed something. So like you can go take a look at it so that you can do your troubleshooting in a more effective and efficient way. I'll just show you how it can be done. So click on the diagnostic history button. So this is the screen. So by default, it always auto-populates the model and serial number that you have worked on. So I want to find out the list of model and serial number that I have worked in the, say for example, in the past year. In this screen, as you can see, it also gives you option to select based on a weekly basis, monthly, yearly, or you can customize. So I want the records for an yearly basis. Click on the search button. And based on the number of sessions you have created, it takes a little while to go and pull it up. So since I'm searching for a year, it's taking a little bit time. So here you go. So what I'm interested is, I want to find a session that has a photograph. So what you can do is, under media, under the column media, if you find any circle icon, that means that particular session has some photographs attached to it. So let me see if we can find out one such session. So yeah, there you go. There is a session that has a photograph attached to it. Let me click on that. And this is going to pull up like all the details, like if it has fault code, cycle history, or photographs. So if you click on the cycle history, so here it displays the cycle history that was present on that appliance on that day. Similarly, let me click on fall codes. And fall codes also, it's going to display if there are any fall codes. Generally, it takes a little bit time. So just give it a couple of seconds and it will display the fall codes. There you go. Okay. And then since I said this session already has a photograph, let me click on the diagnostic photos. And you can enlarge the image. Okay. So that is it. There you go. Okay. Let me come out of it. And also there is an option for you, like you can email all these details to GE Technical Assistance Group if required. Let me come out of it. And then the next one is OnePaths. OnePaths is an interactive exploded drawing application, which is very easy to use. So all you do is like whichever part you want to select, you just click on it and it gets added to your pick list. So right now we are developing a feature that not only allows you to select a part and put it in a pick list, but will also allow you to place an order. So Telma would be providing those details in a few minutes. And then the next one is in SmartHQ service, there are multiple ways in which you can access documents. You have seen how it can be accessed from the dashboard screen and how it can be done from diagnostic document search. And the another thing is service website. This is same as like your customer net, nothing new. The only thing is like if you have access to SmartHQ service, you have access to the service website. You don't require any special login credentials or anything like that. Okay, let me close this one. And thank you all for your time, and I'll give it to Telam.
Okay, thank you, Anita. Great job. Thank you. Okay, so we're approaching the end here. Hey, Anita alluded to the fact that One Parts is going to be integrated into our parts ordering system. So just to illustrate a little bit, so the way this is going to work is that you're going to be able to select parts from One Part, put them into a cart, and then submit that cart, and that list of parts will be sucked into our parts application that will actually allow you to buy the parts from GE through our Parts Finder parts ordering engine. So it's going to be pretty cool. Now, what I'm going to do here is we're going to talk a little bit about the Parts Finder application, and I need to give you a little bit of background to be able to before I go to the demo. So let's go back to the presentation for a minute. Okay, so why am I showing you a customer net login screen? Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because, yeah, we spent the last year and a half telling you that you have to log in as a non-GE employee and with your email and password. But to buy parts, you are going to have to log in with your customer net login, and you're going to have to select the username and password login option, not the non-GE employee option, but the username and password login option if you want to buy parts. Okay, there's a secondary process through which my team approves your access to the Newfie mobile app, but it's kind of cool because you're now going to be able to log in to all the GE systems, customer net, and the Newfie mobile app with the same password. That's if you want to buy parts. If you're not interested in buying parts, but you're interested in selecting parts that need to be purchased, so you're a technician out in the field, you want to be able to select parts that need to be purchased, you want to be able to create a cart of parts that need to be purchased, you can log in with your non-GE employee profile. And obviously, in that situation, you log in with your email and password. And at that situation, you'll be able to go into the parts application, you'll be able to create a cart, and you'll be able to submit that cart for review. And then someone else within your organization who has a username and password, a customer net username and password that's associated with a parts account, a GE parts account, can actually execute the order. Okay, so we've tried to create this sort of separation between the technicians in the field that are that are selecting the parts and identifying the parts that need to be ordered, and then the administrators in the office or the service manager in the office that's actually making the decisions as to what parts should be ordered. So we think this structure will work well, and so I hope I've explained it clearly. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to the demo. Okay, so I'm going to go to the Parts Finder application. Takes things for a little while. And I'm going to go back here for a minute. So the reason it pulled up the GTW 680 and brought up the subsystems of the GTW 680, 460, is because that's what I'm connected to with my Newfie app, right? But I can put in any model, okay, and I can search. It also shows me information like frequently ordered parts in the last 30 days by all Newfie users. That should be SmartHQ service users. Frequently ordered parts in the last 30 days by your company. And frequently ordered parts in the last 30 days by the user that is currently using the app, right? So this provides you lists that are a sort of quick list where you can find the parts that are common that you're using frequently. So let me stick with the GTW 460 and I'll do a search. Once again, you can see illustrations. So you can click on this and it'll show me an illustration of the part. I go to content, hit on controls and backsplash. Takes a few seconds to load up all the parts. It has to do a lot of lookups. It's looking for pricing information. It's looking for availability status. It's looking for a few things, and it's a long list. So there it is. Okay. So to the left-hand side, you will see a list of the parts in that subsystem. Once again, if I click on illustration, it'll show me the illustration for this subsystem. Okay. Go back to content. I can select parts that I want to add to my cart. Okay. As I said before, in the middle, it shows availability. On the left-hand side, it shows pricing. So that's your price. Okay, that's your company price. And then on the far right-hand side, you can select the parts that you want to add to your wish list. So this is a list of parts that you can just go to really easily and add to your cart. Okay, so I'm going to add these parts to my cart. Okay, you'll see these parts. Okay, I don't have that many parts in there, but I can view the parts. Okay, and I can check out. And this is the default address. Obviously, this is not a real address, but the default address that the part would ship to. You can choose any address that you want, so you can add addresses. You can have as many addresses as is imaginable, and you can add a new address through this button here. So I click next. This is the metadata for the shipping. So what kind of shipping are you looking for here? Regular versus emergency, etc. And I preview my order. I could go back and edit the order, add additional parts, or I can just go ahead and place the order. Now I'm able to place the order, and I saw the button place order because I'm logged in with my customer net credentials. if I was logged in with my non-GE login credentials, I would not be able to place the order. I would be able to build the cart though, and then someone else within the organization will be able to actually place the order. So that's the end of the presentation in terms of the information that we wanted to convey, except for our contact information. And I'm going to go back to here. Okay, so this is our contact information. So obviously, physical address you probably won't be using much unless you want to send us a Christmas card. Always welcome. Gifts are welcome too. But you do have the phone number, 502-714-2029. Call that number. You will always reach one of us, either myself or Anita, unless we're both training, which is what's happening at this moment. But we really strive to provide the best possible customer service to resolve any issues that you might have. And so please feel free to reach out to us with questions, with whatever you need us for regarding SmartHQ service. We are happy to help. Okay. You can also reach us on our support website, newfiemobile.smarthq. No, newfiemobile.support@geappliances.com. And please feel free to visit our website, smarthqservice.com. A lot of useful information there. That's where you go to order. There's also training videos, customer testimonials, all kinds of good information on there. So thank you for taking the time to listen to us. Thank you for joining this training session today. I hope we were able to provide the information you need, and we look forward to hearing from you. We thank you for being part of the SmartHQ service ecosystem. Have a great afternoon, and we look forward to hearing from you.